Everything at Bolla is always subject to change, and lavenders, I know, are no different here. This one is all about lavenders. We started with a little plan, and it's then snowballed over the last 2 years into quite a big plan with all sorts of different things on. But the primary reason of this one is about lavenders and making sure the pollinators will want to come here and pollinate everything we've got.
Our journey with the lavenders started when we put in our first order of about 450 plants for La Bolla, and 8 different lavenders were ordered based on Olivio Filippi's dry gardening handbook and the advice he had about the most drought resistant types. So the 8 that we ordered were Lavandula dentata, Imni and Ifri, Lavandula dentata candicans, Lavandula chateray Richard Gray, Lavandula chateray Silver Frost, the Lavandula chateray Sawyers, for which I'm afraid we have no picture because it died in its first summer, which was brutal, the Lavandula intermedia Alba, Lavandula intermedia Grosso, which happens to be the one I'm standing next to here, and Lavandula intermedia Super. It's a bit early for Pete, is it?
I had a very busy day over the last 2 days.
Okay, so by planting 8 different types of lavender, we were able to see in their first year which ones actually survived, which did really well, and the 2 that performed best were the Lavandula dentata candicans and the Lavandula dentata imnianiferi. This is the candicans now, which is almost 3 years after planting, and it doesn't look the best that it has because I rather callously pruned the whole thing because we've got to be away for 2 months. But only a month ago, this was up to here and heaving with bumblebees and other pollinators. And the spread, the diameter, I was told was about 1 metre. Well, that, I'm sorry, but that's about 1.5 metres going on 2. And if it wasn't for the keratocarpa, it would be pushing that way as well. So these are the ones that we decided we would go with because that, after 1 year of being in the ground, was doing so well. In November 2023, so a year after planting everything in the inner garden, we decided to create another planting area by the car park space, which is going to be a camper van space. So we worked up another order to put into Vivae Capitanios, and we ordered 20 dentata candicans, which was the one that has done really well. And they said, sorry, the dentata candicans aren't available, but we have got Angustifolia dwarf blue, which we hadn't tried before. So we ended up getting 20 Angustifolia dwarf blue lavenders, which is not what we'd intended to do. Put 6 here by the car park lot and the other 14 down at the end of the land for pollinators. So as you can see, the 6 by the car park lot have done incredibly well. The 14 down at the other end of the land, given that we only watered them when they got planted, we haven't watered them since, have done incredibly well.
Okay, so here we have the 14 dwarf blue lavenders that we planted 18 months ago, and the plan sort of evolved after we put these in because we thought, do you know what, these things have done so well that we wanted to expand it. My initial plan here was to expand this bit from the 14 and put 40 in this little area here. But then we thought the north side of the land is quite barren. So we thought, oh, let's put them over the other side and put them along the row on the other side. So we walked out there, paced it out, and we reckon we could get about 50 plus lavenders in. So we were, okay, that's good. So we went to Vivae Capitano and went, oh, can we have 54 of these lavenders, the small ones? They went, well, we don't have them.
They weren't in stock.
They weren't in stock.
Really annoyingly.
So they said, oh, we've got a different one. I mean, what's that one? And Sally will do the names because I can't remember them, but it was the one that we got out the
Angustifolia dwarf blue.
right, which is the one that we got out in the front of the parking zone, of zone 2, which is doing really well, but a lot bigger.
Oh no, that's the dentata candicans. Even I'm getting mixed up now. Carry on. Ignore me.
Interrupting me. So anyway, the bigger lavender that's doing well out the front, we decided to plant those ones instead over the other side, and we had to space them out more because they spread to about 1 metre. These are quite small and compact. So we ordered 54 of them, and then we put them on the other side. And the primary driver for doing all of this with the lavenders, our primary driver is to give a home for the pollinators and also food for the pollinators. And as you can see, actually I'm just standing here, it's early in the morning, and these are covered in bumblebees.
Yeah.
Now really bumblebees are solitary type bees, you know, they live in small groups, and they're 100 times better at pollinating than honeybees, because when they get onto it they sort of bumble around and they get pollen on themselves and go around. So what we're really doing is attracting the natural bees, the honeybees and the other sorts of bees, sorry, the bumblebees and the other sorts of solitary bees that live on the land, and giving them food. And our plan was to put all of these lavenders out here to attract all the pollinators in, because then that'll help pollinate all our fruit trees and the inner garden and also the veggie patch, the autos that we've got. And so far it's really working well. Even on the ones that we've got over the other side, they're at it. But as you can see, early in the morning, and they're on and off it like crazy. So like most things, plans are changing. And I think if we can get hold of the dwarf blues again, then I'll probably double up this up to this area here. We did actually think that another thing that will be a really good, is because my youngest daughter really likes essential oils, is that if the lavenders are successful and if we're not going to disturb the bees' food, then we'll take some lavenders off and we'll try and make our own essential oils. Only a small amount, but again, trying to use whatever we put on the land. So these are the lavenders that we put in, and they were put in 9 months ago, and this is what they're looking like now. And the majority are looking pretty good actually, as you can see. When we put them in, there was only 20-30 centimeters of soil before they hit bedrock, so there's really not a lot of soil for them to grow into. And over the 9 months, we've only actually put in about 25 litres of water per plant.
On 3 separate occasions.
On 3 separate occasions, because there's 54 of them, and we have to carry it about 100 metres in 10 litre containers. It takes a while. It's 28 return trips and some 1,000 litres of water.
Why is there a big gap here, Pete?
The reason why there's a big gap here is because when I was here trying to dig all the lavenders in manually, the bedrock was so close to the soil that I couldn't actually dig a hole to put a plant in. So there's the occasional gap here.
The sledgehammer got well used on that planting. How long did it take us to plant them?
About 2.5 hours to dig the holes, and then another hour or so to put them in.
And it takes about 2 hours to water them all, doesn't it?
Yeah, at least.
So after this year, we shouldn't have to water them at all.
But as you say, they're all looking pretty good. There's probably about 3 at the moment that aren't doing so well. There's one down the bottom.
There's one up here.
Yeah, there's one here and one here.
And one over there.
But as you can see in the middle here, I didn't put one in here, so there is a lack of soil in this bit as well. But I mean, I think we're both very impressed that.
I'm quite relieved.
Well, I think I'm just impressed that we put them in, haven't given them any water. They've got practically no soil, and they're flowering.
And if we lose a couple, that's only 5% of the total.
But I don't think we're going to lose any, to be quite honest.
Be good, wouldn't it? So going forward, we want to plant lavenders. Trouble is, we've heard recently that the sale of lavenders in Puglia has been banned, and that's because of Xylella fastidiosa. It's not only prone to Xylella as a plant, a bit like rosemary and Nerium oleander, it's also a host to the spittlebug, and it's a spittlebug that's infected that carries Xylella fastidiosa. So basically, we're going to have to propagate going forward, which is just as well, because look how many pots I've got.
And I'm just going to interject here. We've got hundreds of pots,
Yeah.
there, literally hundreds.
I think I should start a nursery.
And Sally's already given the equivalent amount away as well.
Yeah, I've given loads away.
So she's planted about 1,200 plants so far.
So the lucky thing is that the Dentata candicans and the Dentata imneoniferae, so it must be something about that variety, they drop seeds, and I've got babies coming up all around those two types of Dentata. Whereas the other ones, I think I have to propagate by cuttings. So basically these are two, rather sorry for themselves because I forgot to water them, but these are two of the Dentata imneoniferae plant lavender, and the Dentata candicans at the front, which, so we've only got one, has already produced 4 babies. So I'm quite happy that going forward we will probably be able to self-generate the number of lavenders that we want to keep planting, because we're not going to be able to buy them locally.
Because apparently you can never have enough plants, Sally.
Never enough, Pete, you know that. Never enough. An example of successful propagation. So it started off looking like that. I put it in the ground in November, and this baby is doing really, really well on the corner here. So it just shows how quickly you can multiply your lavenders, or our lavenders, or this particular type of lavender at least. We hope you've enjoyed this episode about lavenders and the way we started off not knowing what we were going to do. Then we sort of thought we knew what we were going to do, and then that changed, and now because of circumstances we're having to adapt again. So the ever-evolving story of our lavenders. If you've enjoyed it, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to follow us, we'd be delighted if you subscribed. And
where's the subscription button, Sally?
Oh, it's down that side.
That's it.
Somewhere in the very little corner, out of sight.
Looks like an Italian flag with a little subscription.
Tiny down there. And if you would like to make a comment, then we'd welcome that, and we always reply within about 24 hours.